Very good morning to you all, dear students. So today we will start with the new topic under block 18. Okay. So this is the last topic for from block 18. So our topic of discussion for today is protecting animals. Alright, so our aim for today is that students will be able to explain the role of animal sanctuaries in protecting animals. Alright, so you will be able to explain the role of animal sanctuaries in protecting animals. The resources needed is your worksheet as for your exit content book and your notebook. Alright, so these are the resources that you will be needing. The keywords for today is sanctuary and national park. Alright, so as usual, let's learn what is the meaning of sanctuary. Okay, sanctuary means a state of being protected, that is known as sanctuary. What is national park? An area of land that is not built upon but reserved by the national government for recreational use. They are known as national park. Alright. So we have learned about the dangers that animals in India they are facing, right? Because of earthquake, hunting, alright, deforestation for many purpose they are facing the animals in India are facing dangers. Okay. So how can we actually protect this animal? We have learned about the dangers that animals face, okay, in our last class. So how can we actually protect this animal? Alright, so listen carefully, okay? So we can protect in many ways, in different ways, in various ways, okay? So today we will learn about one particular way to protect animals. There are various ways in which we can protect the animals from being from harm and danger, okay? But today specifically we will learn about one particular way to protect animals, okay? Now we will be reading a story, okay? A home from animals, a home for animals from your exit content book. We will read a story, a home for animals. All right, so let's read it together, okay? I want all of you to take out your textbook, and you can, as I read for you, you please follow the reading. You'll find in the first page, okay, of block 18. A home for animals. Let me read for all of us. It was the first time Radha and Rashi visited the zoo. They were very excited because they had read they had read that zoos keep a lot of wild animals like lions, tigers, zebras, giraffe, bears, elephants, and monkeys. They bought their ticket and entered the zoo. Inside the zoo, they saw that most of the animals were in big cages. Some children were behaving badly and throwing sticks and stones inside those cages. These animals were trying to escape from the cages but could not. The cages were locked. One day, Radha and Rashi were watching television. They saw many animals roaming around a place which had thick trees, open spaces, and streams. It looked like a forest. The lions and the tigers were in their dens, and the leopard, elephants, foxes, and deer were moving around freely. The monkeys were jumping from one tree to another. All they could see were animals. There were no human anywhere. The girl's mother told them that this was an animal sanctuary. Animal sanctuaries are places where animals are kept safe and protected when forests are clear. In sanctuaries, animals roam around freely and do not live in cages. Guards protect these animals from hunters. Animals get food and care as well. Radha and Rashi wanted to know how an animal sanctuary is different from a zoo and wonder where animal would really want to live. So that is the story we have learned from Radha and Rashi, right? At first, they visited the zoo for the first time and they saw lots of animal being kept inside a big cage, okay? But they were not able to move freely, okay? Because you see that some children they were misbehaving with the animals, okay? Like throwing stone and then the stick at them, okay? So the animals they were trying to escape, but they were not able to escape because they were being locked inside the cage. But on the other day, what they saw were they were as they were watching television, they saw many animals which were roaming freely in a thick trees, okay, in an open space and in a stream. So it looks like a forest, okay. So they saw that the lions and the deer they were also living in their dens, and the leopard, the different kind of elephant, foxes, deer, they were also moving freely, all right, around the places. And they saw the monkey that were jumping from one tree to another, okay. So all they could see were animals everywhere, and there were no human anywhere that they see, okay. So the girl's mother, the mother of Radha and Rashid, told them that this was an animal sanctuary. So animal sanctuaries, remember, are places, okay, where animals they are kept safe and they are protected when forests are clear. So also in sanctuaries, the animal they roam freely, okay, and they do not live in cages. So the guard they protect this animal from hunters, okay. So animal they also get food and care as well. So Radha and Rashi wanted to know how an animal sanctuary, right, is different from a zoo, okay, and wonder where animal would really want to live. All right. So that is from our discussion, as from our reading, okay. So let's get into our activity discussion. Where did Radha and Rashi go? What did they see? Do you think they like what they saw at the zoo? What did they see on television? How was it different from zoo? Very simple. From our reading, we have learned everything, okay? But let me quickly summarize the answer for you. So you'll see that Radha and Rashi they went to the zoo and they saw the animals in cages, okay? They did not like children throwing stones at the cage animals. They saw an animal sanctuary on TV, right? So unlike the zoo, animals in the animal sanctuaries were kept in large open areas, okay, which had forests and streams. So unlike the zoo, there were no people watching these animals in the sanctuary. So the animals they were moving freely. All right. So you'll see that in animal sanctuaries, there are lots of things like you'll find trees, stream, forest, large open space. Protect they were animals. They are protected by guards. Animal they roam freely. They also get food and they get care as well. All right. This is about the features of animal sanctuary. Okay. All right. So where are animals better protected? So where are animals better protected? Is it in a zoo or in a sanctuary? And why do you think so? And what would happen if we did not have animal sanctuaries? What do you think will happen to those animals if we don't have animal sanctuaries in our country? All right, very simple. Okay, as I explained to you, you please listen carefully. Now, you see that animals they are better protected in an animal sanctuary instead of zoo, okay, because in animal sanctuary they can live in open space, they can get proper care and food on time. All right. So also people they cannot come and watch animals like they used to do at a zoo. So in an animal sanctuary, animals they are given the same importance as humans, okay, so they can live like they would in a jungle. All right, because in jungle it is their home, it is a place where they are born and brought up, right? So they can live freely, okay, without any fear from human interference. So animal sanctuaries, they are supposed to be well protected by guards so that nobody can harm or kill animals or clear the forest. So countries, even every countries also have large land and forest area, okay, like the animal sanctuaries to protect animals. So these are called national parks. All right. Similarly, in India, there are many animal sanctuaries and national parks to protect animals. Very famous, like the Kaziranga National Park, Gir Forest National Park, right? So all those are very important thing, okay, that you have to keep in mind, okay, why we have national park and wildlife sanctuaries. All right, because the main reason is to protect animals, okay. Now the last question, okay, how can animal sanctuaries become unsafe for animals? So we know that in animal sanctuaries, what we have learned is that it is a place where animals they are kept safe, right? And then they are guard to protect them. So how can animal sanctuaries become unsafe for animals even though they are protected? How can animal sanctuaries become unsafe for animals? All right, let me explain to you, okay. So see, what will affect the animals in the what will be the unsafe for animals in the animal sanctuaries, that if the guard don't do their duty properly. All right, if the guard they don't guard the place properly, then outsiders, people can enter an animal sanctuary and still hunt animals for their body parts, okay, like where in Kaziranga one horn rhino are being poached because of their horn, okay. Similarly, the elephant because of the trunk, right? So if the guard they don't keep an eye on them, all right, on the hunters, then people can easily come and then they can kill those animals, okay. Similarly, in Assam, like I told you, many rhinos have been killed by hunters in an animal sanctuaries, okay, even though they are protected. All right. So if the guards they don't do their duty properly, obviously people can enter, okay, and then they can kill animal, all right, for their body parts. So that's it. Things to do. You have to complete your worksheet as for, okay. So question number 1 is you have to underline the animals that are likely to be kept in animal sanctuaries. So what according to you are some of the animals that are likely to be kept in animal sanctuaries? So you have to underline those animals, okay. So question number 2, how do you think an animal sanctuary looks? Draw a picture of an animal sanctuary in the box. So here in this box you have to draw an animal sanctuary, okay, how it will look. All right, and practice question number 7 is your homework, okay. Practice question number 7, how does an animal sanctuary help protect animals? So these two you please do it, okay. Don't just do worksheet, okay, but you also do practice questions, because many of you are not doing your practice questions. So that's it. Take care, stay safe, and have a good